Hello everyone, my name is Holger Bruchelt, and what we are showing here are a few integration demos basically on how you can leverage SAP and Microsoft the best. So in the past we've been talking a lot about the infrastructure component, just running your S/4HANA system on the Azure Cloud, leveraging the virtual machines that we have on Azure, leveraging the HANA large instances. And what we're showing here is that you can do much more actually with SAP and Microsoft. You can really also integrate a lot of technologies and get the best out of both worlds. So in this scenario here, for example, we have a very simple integration where you can leverage the single sign-on capabilities of SAP and Microsoft. So for example, we are starting here with a very simple email, a workflow email that you get into your Outlook mailbox, and then with just a click, basically, you are redirected to the Fiori Launchpad, to the SAP Fiori Launchpad, and then hopefully in a second, you'll see the workflow. You see that I didn't authenticate again. I didn't have to enter my SAP username and password or anything. I just used the Microsoft credentials that I had provided earlier when accessing the Outlook screens, basically. So now I'm redirected to the SAP Fiori screen, and I can just work on the workflows that are there in my Fiori inbox, basically. Another scenario that showcases this kind of integration is here in this screen, where we have a Fiori-like application running on the SAP Cloud Platform. And in this case, we are really leveraging again, services from the SAP Cloud Platform and services from the Azure Platform as a Service. So for example, here we have a screen that is currently displayed in English, but what I can easily do is I can switch, for example, to German, and now we're using both the SAP Translation Hub to translate certain keywords from English into German, but we're also using the Bing translation services to translate free text. So for the end user, the result is just that they see a translated UI, exactly what they want to see. But in the background, we are using both technologies from SAP, like the SAP Translation Hub, and we're using services from Microsoft, the Bing translation services. And then in the end, we can really provide the end user beautiful, translated experience. But it goes further. For example, in this example, I can just create a leave request starting, like when do I want to start. I could specify the period that I want to go into, and then I typically write a justification. Why do I want to go on leave, obviously? And again, what we can do here is we can either ask the user to use the speech services from Azure, so I can really record something, which is unfortunately not working very well because we have a lot of background noises. But I could just enter here my justification, and when I do this, then I also get a sentiment analysis. So we are using sentiment analysis services from Azure to evaluate what the user has actually entered here in the specific justification. So again, the user is working with an SAP Fiori screen, but in the background, we are using a lot of technologies. We're using SAP technologies. We're using Azure services to really provide the user with the best experience that they can get in the end. These are just two small examples, basically, where we are trying to showcase that SAP and Microsoft is much more than the pure infrastructure. It's much more than just running your SAP system on the infrastructure that Microsoft can provide. It's also all the interoperability based on a good single sign-on concept, and then really leveraging the services from both SAP and Microsoft to provide the customer, the end user, with the best experience.